Welcome back to the Have You Seen It podcast. Mason Knight joined here with Michael Falk to my right and Cash Cross to my left. How you guys doing?
Doing well.
Pretty good. How about you?
Well, you know, life is life.
Yeah. Shitty.
I don't know what the fuck that means, but it means something. So.
Yeah, for sure. Definitely there's a meaning there.
So I take it we're all doing pretty good, fellas. Oh,
Michael, I'm so proud of you. That was so good. That was so good. And that was unscripted, too. That was off the top of your head. Like,
it's amazing.
You're getting better and better at this podcast and shit, man. I got to give it to you. It's really good.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Appreciate it.
It's my picks this week for the podcast. So I picked one of my picks, which is a movie we'll be reviewing right now, is Goodfellas.
Yeah. Have you guys heard of it?
Never heard of it. No, this is brand new to me.
It's a hidden gem. Yeah.
Scorsese's?
Yes.
Scorsese? What?
I thought it just came out.
This?
Yeah, it's a little indie.
A
little indie
just
film.
an indie
Just a
film.
little, yeah. But yeah, a movie that I've seen quite a bit.
Yeah, I know. You text me. You're like, great. Now I can watch it for the 37th time.
But I do. Any excuse I get to watch it, I'll watch it. If it's on TV, I'll watch it.
Can I admit something pretty embarrassing? But that's okay. Because that's what this podcast is about, right? We're all friends. Goodfellas was one of those movies where I had seen so many times, but I never watched it from the very beginning to the very end. It was one of those things that was on TV or whatever, or just, I'd never watched the whole movie. And I finally watched the whole thing, and it was amazing.
Well,
I wanted to watch it again. Problem is, 2.5 hours is hard.
If you haven't seen it, then definitely don't watch it on TV for your first time.
Yeah,
because they'll cut out
everything.
Half of the dialogue in this movie is the word "fuck." So you'd be cutting. So you'd be cutting out a good portion of the movie.
It was said like 321 times in the movie.
Yeah.
And it was only supposed to be scripted like 70, I think, in the whole film. But there was so much improv in this movie.
And I literally think Joe Pesci says half of that.
He's over half.
Yeah, I think maybe in the first 30 minutes he says half of that. But it's I'll just tell you right now, it's an amazing film. I really love it.
It really is.
I've seen it. I mean, I wouldn't have seen it 50 times if I didn't love it. But
and it's based on a true story as well, which we should probably.
Yeah.
Yeah. Henry Hill was a real guy.
Which is I think all of Scorsese's mobster movies are based on true stories, and they're pretty down to the detail. That's what makes Scorsese films so good is the level of fucking detail.
And he definitely hired the right people.
Yeah, and again, he surrounded himself by people that also took that detail.
Oh, yeah.
But I think it's from seeing, Scorsese go crazy about it. And,
right.
I was reading that Robert De Niro called the guy Henry Hill or whoever, or it was the reporter, I guess, who wrote the book about him or something. He recorded him like 9 times during the night. He kept calling him to ask him how Jimmy would act and how he would smoke a cigarette.
Yeah, he got down to those details of how you'd smoke a cigarette. I know. It's like, wow.
Yeah, and I'm sure whoever the guy he was calling was like, "What the hell? Who cares?"
Quit calling me. He's like, "I know you're Robert De Niro, but you gotta quit."
I know it was cool. It was cool the first 4 times you called, but now I gotta sleep.
Can't be calling me at 2:30 in the morning.
Yeah, but
nagging questions.
Can you imagine that being woken up by Robert De Niro?
Well, I mean, I can imagine it. I don't know. Could be terrifying depending on the situation, but...
Yeah, well, on the phone, not in your house. Oh, that would be scary. Yeah. But, so what... Michael, have you seen this movie a million times?
No, this was the first time I've watched the whole thing, too.
Wow. I know, it's pretty incredible. That's why I wanted to watch it, honestly.
Yeah.
Because I love gangster movies.
Happens to me a lot with these older films that... Or they originally came out on VHS, and my parents would never have bought 90s. It. So.
Can I just?
Well, it's older now.
Every Steven Seagal film, I don't think I've ever watched one from beginning to end, but I've seen a million of his movies on TV.
I've never seen a single Steven Seagal film either.
Yeah.
But I mean, they're Steven Seagal films. They're shit. I mean, yeah. I mean,
there might have been one good one.
I don't know.
I can't remember the name of it.
I've never seen. Yeah.
But yeah.
So, the first full time you guys watch it all the way through, that's crazy. It's a pretty long film.
It is a long film. Very long.
I actually watched it in 2 parts.
Oh,
because
really?
Of
Intermission,
how
long. 2-part.
Yeah, I had to. I started
had to take a break,
and then I went to see Ready Player One or something with you. I can't remember.
Yeah, no, I saw it with you. I saw it another time too, but I had to go see it twice. There was so much in that freaking movie. I couldn't just watch
Ready
it one
Player
time.
One?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
We'll talk about that later. But yeah.
Let's get into that review right now. But yeah, well, it's almost a film where it's like it's set up in almost like chapters where you can almost stop watching it and then go pick it up.
Yep.
And because it goes in like segments. It'll be like at the beginning of his life and then towards it, but it only spans a couple of days in each one. Mm-hmm. But it really unravels.
Really does.
By the end, I'm just fucking have anxiety. I'm freaking out, thinking I'm being watched by the FBI. I'm paranoid now.
And this movie took some turns that I didn't necessarily expect, but looking in hindsight, I'm like, probably should have expected that.
Like what?
You know?
What?
Well, the greasy Italian shit.
Oh yeah.
I don't want to give it away right now because that's a big part of the movie, but
yeah,
when he gets blown away.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, out of nowhere. Yeah, I was like, oh fuck, okay.
Oh yeah. But that's how it fucking was, man.
Oh hell yeah.
It was crazy.
Yeah, because he was what? Ordained into the family or whatever, the guy that he killed in the beginning of the movie?
He's a made
He's
man.
a made man.
Yeah, made man. So he wasn't supposed to do that.
I know.
And he did.
What's insane to me is how long it took for that to catch up to him. But I guess there is a whole, process.
And
there's
a
like
vote,
yeah,
all that
there's like
shit.
its own
Yeah,
like
it's its
government
own-
of who you can kill and everything. But he should have known that was coming when he killed.
He
I don't
should've.
know. Yeah,
He was all excited to walk into the room. And the guy that he portrayed actually, they said that he played the character exactly how he was, except the guy that he played was actually huge.
Yeah.
Yeah, Joe Pesci. You're
yeah.
talking about. Yeah,
Yeah,
he
like,
said
he's
he
tiny.
said it was like
Yeah.
99%. Yeah, and that guy was huge, which Joe Pesci is. He's so small, but man, does he have a fucking fire in him. You would not. He just goes 0 to 100 real fast.
Yeah.
He could go from, that scene, obviously the very famous scene where they're, am I funny like a clown? It's just so tense. It's so, as soon as I see it, I'm like, oh fuck. Even though I've seen it a million times, every time I still watch it, it's just so, I would hate to be in that moment.
Oh, yeah.
So damn awkward for one. Yeah.
That scene was so good because I was terrified.
Yeah,
and
exactly,
You feel like super, as you were saying, you just feel super tense.
And Ray Liotta played that part so well,
yeah.
where he's just scared shitless too.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, because
Well,
no
I
one
think-
fucks with Tommy.
If I remember, that scene too was the one where he actually was stopped and then he kept going and it actually confused Ray.
Yeah,
Because
he almost
he thought, he was like, what are you doing? You're still going on. So
Yeah.
that's all of that was genuine acting because he was like,
yeah,
what the hell is taking place here?
yeah, exactly. And
That
it
whole
worked out
scene-
as their characters too, because
Yeah.
even though they were friends for a long time, like he's still
He's
still.
like, what?
But I guess we can just talk about the guy. I love the beginning scene when whoever they had play Ray Liotta as a kid. I thought that kid looked just like, or did
Yeah.
a really good job
Very
of playing
good
him.
job.
Yeah, with his mannerisms and everything was really good. But yeah, it's so funny to me that Robert De Niro, when he first met him in the first scene, he was supposed to be like late 20s or
Yeah.
something.
Yeah.
But it's like
It looked pretty much the same.
it's like mid 40s Robert De Niro. The only thing that's different is his hair is
Hair
like
is a
not
little
as
bit-
gray.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like a little dyed, but
Yeah, that part was funny.
stuff like that. And even when that showed like Ray Liotta's character, like in the next part when he was supposed to be only like mid 20s or something, it was still like 30-year-old Ray Liotta. But yeah, I don't know. Mobsters do always tend to look a little older, a little
do.
more aged. Yeah.
Been through a lot.
Since we did touch up on it, that scene that what, you think I'm a funny guy?
Mm-hmm.
That scene was actually based on that actually happened in real life to Joe.
Yeah. Oh
he
yeah.
actually told
He
Martin
told me, yeah.
about it
Yeah, I
to
remember
try to
seeing
put
it,
it in
yeah.
the movie.
What a
Because that
fucking
was
scary
actually
scene. I know.
That'd be so intimidating. Can you imagine these Italian mob guys coming in and be like, oh, how am I funny?
I know.
Freeze up, man. You say the wrong thing, you're dead. No,
Yeah.
thank you.
Yeah, like
I'm good, I'm gonna
Spider.
pass. Like Spider.
Like Spider.
Like Spider.
Spider spoke up.
You can't speak up.
Spider got shot
Multiple
twice.
times.
Yeah.
Yeah.
One time, yeah, so he couldn't really win. He spoke to him. I mean, when he spoke up, he got shot. When he didn't do anything, he got shot. Mm-hmm. Poor Spider.
What are you going to do?
Poor Spider. Yeah. I love that.
It's a lose-lose situation.
That scene, like all these scenes, they almost seem improv. And some of the scenes are improv, but they seem so real that scene where he shoots him, he's like, "You're gonna dig the hole." He's like, "What? I've never digged a hole before." You know, and again, yeah, it's so.
Yeah, I read that most of the dialogue was improvised by the actors in it.
Yeah.
A lot of it was, yeah.
Which is crazy, but that also happens a lot, and then the movie ended up being super good.
Because of it.
Yeah.
And not only that, but you have so much extra footage that you can use. And you're working with a super talented cast that knows what they're doing, experienced actors who have been around this kind of work before. They know what they're doing.
Yeah, you're working with people that know the characters that they were playing really well. So it's not like Ray Liotta improving. It's like Henry Hill improving. So it's like Henry Hill in the scene. So that always works. So no matter what they're improving, you know, it's not just Ray Liotta being Ray Liotta.
Exactly.
You know, it's him. So that's just the characters improving, and that's what it always feels, because it always feels like you're just, I don't know, like you're just like getting a scene of just like 2 minutes of their life in the regular, because it doesn't feel really scripted or anything. Everything, and every time someone's mad at each other, you really feel like that scene where Johnny roast beef or whatever gets the Cadillac, and he's like, "What are you getting excited for? What are you getting excited for?" And he's like, "What do you mean, what the fuck am I getting excited for?" He's like, "It was in my mother's name." Is what he kept saying it. He's like, "Say it again. Say it again." And he's like, and at the end, they're like both silent. He's like, "I'm sorry."
Yeah.
He was like, "It was in my mother's name." What did you say? Yeah. Scenes
Well,
like
then
that.
the next person came in, and what was it? They had like
he
a
had
fancy
he had a
coat
mink
on.
coat, a
coat,
20,000 coat. And he made that guy leave.
Yeah, he made him leave. Get the fuck out of here.
He said, "Go take it back now." It's probably 2 a.m. or something.
But you are right. Like I think that's one of the reasons why I love mob movies so much too, is because like a lot of them are high stakes, but they're always so upset all the time. But you get to see that constantly, and it's some of the best acting because it is all completely authentic.
Yeah, it is. And you could see it's like, I mean, just like probably in real life, the mob, they're like just that huge group of family. You know, they only hang out. It's such a tight knit, closed community. Yep. And she even says, we haven't talked about whoever plays Karen, who's amazing in it. But she even says how like they only ever hung out with each other. They only ever saw each other. They never met anyone else. They never had any outside friends or family. Once you're in the family, which is shitty. Because all the wives seems very, very boring and obviously submissive because they've
very
been
submissive.
beaten down.
Yeah, because it's either their way or the highway.
Yeah, exactly.
There's no in between. Or not the highway, 6 feet under in a ditch.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I love that scene where Joe Pesci's with his like wife or his girlfriend at the bar, and he's like, "I'm gonna go talk to Stax. You look forward." Yeah. And she's like, "Oh, he's so jealous." And then, like she wasn't even allowed to look at other guy or look.
Insane.
Yeah. Man, it's no wonder Joe Pesci doesn't act anymore, or doesn't retired after this. Cause
it's too bad.
Playing those characters though. Very scary and hateful characters.
And erratic too.
Yeah.
Goddamn, like that.
It's got to
one
take
scene,
some. Yeah.
That one scene in the. Oh yeah, duh. Obviously, it was that would have been Spider, right? The guy in the bar.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. 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 Stuff like that. Yeah.
It's just insane. It's just so erratic
that
you're just like, holy shit.
Yeah. The shortest. He just flips 0 to 100 in just a matter of seconds. You can say anything to him.
Based on the song by Drake.
Yeah. Of course.
That's actually what the song is about, is Joe Pesci.
Yeah, exactly. Yes.
No, but he always plays like a super high-strung guy.
Yeah, well, he definitely got typecasted.
Yeah.
No, yeah, for sure.
I mean, which is great for us because he plays an amazing gangster, but not so great for him where he can only play these.
His character name was Tommy, right? Tommy DeVito?
Yeah, it was definitely Tommy something, yeah. Which was the real guy's name too, I think.
Right. Well, Robert De Niro was offered that role as well, too. Do you know that? Between that and his
I thought it was Joe Pesci was offered the role as Jimmy, and he said he didn't want to play it or something.
Oh, I thought it was Robert.
It might be
fucking wrong.
But thank God, I couldn't imagine.
I might not have wrote it down.
I don't know. The only one I have written down is that Pacino turned down the role of Jimmy because he didn't want to be typecast.
How'd that was
work out for him?
Yeah, exactly. And then, ironically enough, he was cast in what was it?
It was Dick Tracy. He was like the 1930s.
Tracy,
he was like the most
he
was like the most typical gangster.
Yep.
Yeah.
And that was the same year that Goodfellas came
And I love
out
it.
too
And
in
I love that the
1990.
very end of that fact. I was like, that's the last in his was he regretted it.
Yeah,
That's
he,
all.
he regrets his decision.
He regrets it. That's all.
I
It
would,
says.
yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
And Ray Liotta turned down a role as Harvey Dent in the Batman movie that
Yeah.
came out that
He
year.
did.
The
Yeah.
1989, the good
Batman,
movie. Yeah.
And you bet there was no way in fuck I was gonna give that statistic out, knowing how big a Batman fan you are.
And yeah, and who does play Harvey Dent in those movies? It's like a no one, isn't it?
I can't.
I mean, it's like an
couldn't
older
even remember.
actor.
Yeah, I
It's
can't
like an
even
older actor who's
remember.
not- yeah.
That the only Harvey Dent I remember is Tommy Lee Jones, and then the recent guy.
Yeah.
Those are the only two I remember.
Was it in this Batman, the 1989 version? It
Yeah,
had to have
yeah.
been, right?
Yeah.
Harvey Dent, Billy D. Williams.
Oh, Billy D.
Yes.
Oh yeah, he's the
Oh,
guy
yeah,
from
Lando.
Lando.
Yeah.
I do
I mean,
remember that
I
now.
guess he's somewhat known
Yeah, I guess he's
in
not
Star
a
Wars
no
community.
name.
Yeah.
I mean, Batman and Star Wars. That's pretty good.
But I don't remember him in the movie.
I now that I know it's him, I remember him like up on the podium doing speeches, but
This shit makes me so mad, though. Like, why have we not put him? He's still working in Hollywood. I mean, he's still doing Star Wars Battlefront, all these Star Wars films, but they're not going to put him in the new trilogy. You put all the other
bullshit.
characters except Lando.
Was it yeah? and
Frustrating.
that entire casino scene.
Oh
Here's
my
our 5
God.
minutes. I expect, man.
yeah,
When are we
I
gonna
was
get
like,
Lando?
it's gonna be
Expected
Lando.
We
It's
all
gonna be
expected
Lando.
him. Yes, yeah, for sure.
But did it say he was going to play Harvey Dent or Commissioner Gordon?
Leota?
Yeah.
It was Harvey Dent.
Harvey
Yeah,
Dent,
okay,
yeah.
Which that wasn't even a very big role. In
No, it wasn't
that
because it
movie,
wasn't
so
even.
it wouldn't be that
yeah.
wasn't
great,
even
yeah.
Two-Face.
But Harvey Dent, or not Harvey Dent, but Ray Liotta wasn't super well known. I mean, he was known
At
but
that time,
At a
yeah.
time of Goodfellas, that's what really set his career off. He was pretty young in it. He's probably early 30s or something. I never looked that up.
They all of them actually looked super young.
Yeah.
Knowing what they all look like now and stuff.
Well, I mean,
crazy.
Have you seen Taxi Driver? That's Robert De Niro
Yeah.
at his youngest. He looks like he's 20. It's crazy.
Who directed that?
Martin Scorsese.
Taxi?
Taxi Driver.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Sorry, I thought you said something else. I was like, hold on, what the fuck? Martin Scorsese drove to fucking Taxi? I can't. I'm slurring my words.
Yeah, what are you doing?
What's in that can?
A lot of
Is that a
Rockstar.
40?
No, it's just Rockstar. My tongue can't catch up with my brain.
Well, I guess we can just... Is there any other scenes? You guys, we don't have to go in chronological order.
Yeah.
I mean,
No.
I think most people have. I
2.5
mean, spoiler
hours.
alert, if you haven't seen this movie, you're a fucking idiot.
I loved how it opened with them driving down the road and the body in the trunk starts hitting the...
Oh, yeah. I totally... Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah, they
I forgot
started
that
in
was the opening, yeah.
Started
it-
in the middle.
Yeah, and then did like a flashback. But
Yeah.
usually I hate that, but it worked really good in this film, I think, because the whole time I was waiting to see how the dude ended up in
Yeah.
the trunk and everything.
And not only that, but you got to see the violence
Yeah,
firsthand.
set the tone for the
set
whole thing.
Exactly my
Oh,
point.
Pesci
Yeah, it definitely
takes
set
out the
tone.
chef's knife and stabs him like 8 times.
Right. That was awesome.
Yeah.
He's like, come here, motherfucker. He's
Yeah.
stabbing him. I'm like, Jesus.
And then they fucking shot him.
And then
Yeah,
they shoot him
and then
like
they
8
shot
times.
him.
I'm like, this is a little excessive.
But that's what something, at least
this
that's
is
what something
fun.
Joe Pesci does in every scene when he kills someone.
Yeah.
He shoots him like 9 fucking times.
know.
Yeah.
And that again just sets up his character that he's
Right.
just,
Well, it
fucking
goes so well,
demented.
too, because he's small and not a big guy.
Oh,
you know,
yeah,
but
yeah.
he's psychopath.
It's that kind of,
know?
short timber, that kind of
That
small
fuse.
man syndrome.
Yeah. Mhm.
But no one would ever fuck with him unless you
No.
didn't know him. And
Exactly.
if you didn't know him, you
well,
were
you're
gonna
too
know
late.
him.
'Cause
Yeah,
if
you were
fuck
gonna
with him,
know him.
You're
Yeah.
dead. Yeah.
But yeah, I love that opening scene too. And that scene comes back too. Remember they have to
Yeah.
re-dig him up.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh man.
Like, what, 2 months later or something
Yeah.
like that?
In the fucking
New developments were being
in
bought
a
for the
marshland
home.
too, so
Yeah.
the body would have been just falling apart.
Terribly
Yeah.
decayed. Oh, yuck.
And they had to put it in Henry's back of his car.
Back of
too.
his, yeah. Poor guy.
And remember when they were like, his kids were asking what the smell was. He's like, oh yeah, we hit a skunk in the back of the car.
In the back,
yeah.
That makes perfect sense.
They didn't ask a lot of questions.
They
No.
didn't, and that's actually a really good point to make. They're like, a lot of the serial killers in the 70s, a lot of their wives didn't even know. In the 80s, too.
Yeah.
Had no idea. Because the people just didn't ask questions back then.
Where a lot of people would just, rather not know. And just
Yeah.
Think
So,
if you got a problem, just don't face it, and eventually it'd go away.
But you
And
think
it
about something like that.
never
In
goes away.
2018, okay, if someone's like, what's that smell in your car? And you go, oh, I hit a skunk. People are going to be like, you're a fucking liar. Like, bullshit.
I don't know. I don't think
But
you don't ever
1990s.
suspect someone's a serial killer. No matter what, when you see serial killer, the neighbors always go, I had no idea. He was the nicest guy ever.
Yeah,
and
that's
everyone
true.
loved him.
Like, you guys don't know that I am, right?
Yeah, I mean,
No, I had no
but
idea.
you
yet.
could
Yeah,
definitely be one for sure.
For sure.
And that's
It makes sense why you're buying your crossbows and shit and all that kind of
See?
stuff.
hunting.
Hunting, yeah.
What kind of
are you
hunting are you? Yeah.
You have,
Are you
you
the
have
most
license for
dangerous
that?
game?
Yeah.
This fucking weirdo, he kidnaps people, releases them in the woods, gives them 30 seconds, says you better start running.
It's fair game.
Fair game. What can you do?
I don't know how we got into talking about serial killers.
It
It's about the families.
Yeah, about
not
the
asking
families.
questions,
Yeah. Not
But,
asking questions.
But at the start, did we ever figure out what her name was? Because she won an Oscar
It's,
for.
I had it. It was right down here. Right, Lorraine.
Yeah, Lauren Bracco. Yeah.
Bracco.
But she won an Oscar for this. But Martin Scorsese has a talent of finding really good actresses. And Taxi Driver is Jodie Foster, and then
She won
Wolf
an
of Wall
Oscar?
Street, huh?
I didn't think she won the Oscar. It got nominated for 6, but I thought it only won 1. I thought Joe Pesci was the
Oh,
only
maybe
one.
she was just nominated.
Yeah,
for
there
it.
were a bunch of nominations, but Pesci was the only
It
one
only
who
won
won.
one?
That's what I read on it when I looked it up on here. Made
Well, I
me-
believe it's pretty violent for
the
the
Oscars.
Oscars. Yeah, it is.
But they gave it to the most violent character in the movie, so
Oh, yeah, but it would have been hard not to. He did such a good
yeah, he
fucking
did.
job.
It's higher than that, Mason. It's like right
You had to go
underneath
to
the.
Wikipedia.
It's right there, the gold.
Oh, one Oscar, yeah.
Yeah.
They normally don't put it right there. That's weird. Yeah, won one Oscar. That's it.
Man, it could have won an Oscar for editing. It could have won an Oscar for just a shit ton.
Yeah, Joe
Yeah,
was
she-
the only one to win.
Yeah, she
Best
was
actor.
nominated for
yeah.
Best Actress.
I wonder who won that year.
I don't know, 1991? I don't know.
Yeah, I have no idea. But she did a fucking great job in this.
Oh, yeah.
Everybody did a great job.
And it was a
in it.
tough role, too.
Well, and the lengths that they went to, like, make sure this movie was completely authentic. Even that one scene. This is an interesting fact that I just looked up and found. But that, not infomercial, but that commercial for the wigs. Mm-hmm. I guess Martin had saw that ad on TV, contacted that guy and said, hey, because he liked the way that he did it, back in that time. And he goes, edit this, put this whole commercial together, and we're going to put this in the movie. So that's all authentic based on how that guy actually did commercials. And he actually had him do the whole, gave him money and everything to do production for that commercial to make wigs. But I found that funny. Yeah.
That's why I love Scorsese films, too. It's just a matter of detail. I always
all the little details.
always think that's what makes a really good film.
Well, and
Takes it
who
from
else
good to
had a lot
great.
of details who won a lot of awards this year?
Oh, Guillermo?
Thank you.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Well,
Yeah.
It's always...
It's all in the details, man.
People,
I mean,
yeah, there's some people that just skip over that, especially big budget movies. They skip
Right.
over those finders and just think, no one's going to care about that. But that's the little details are the things that at least I pick up.
Exactly.
And obviously what critics and a lot of people pick up too.
Yeah.
So if you just get it down to a matter of just but it's obviously a lot more work. I know when this movie came out, Scorsese said or when the book came out, Scorsese said he would never do another gangster film again.
Yes.
And then he found this book, and he immediately called
Yeah,
the
and
guy and
he's
said,
like-
"This is the book I've been waiting for."
And he goes, this is a call I've been waiting for my whole life. Yeah.
Man, and that's so awesome that he just knew immediately as soon as...
It's an interesting story, though. The only thing with this movie that I didn't quite understand, yes, I understood Henry Hill eventually towards the end of the movie started having a drug problem, and the main guy, what was his name?
Paulie?
Paulie, yeah, the main mob boss. He told him never get into drugs, and he lied to his face. So I understood that relationship. But what I didn't understand is when he came back, Paulie gave him money. He gave him $3,200 for his whole life of working for him and everything. Why didn't Paulie kill him? I mean, he fucked him over.
Just because I think that
pretty hardcore.
Because he pretty much raised.
Oh no, he raised him. Yeah, and we see that in the beginning.
And that's what I think it was. Yeah, he started out from
killing his own son.
But then he turned him in. He
fucked
him over.
Oh yeah, he did. Yeah,
Henry Hill fucked all of those guys.
Well, that's what always happens. That's how these guys always get caught. Is someone fucking, and that's why we saw. As soon as they think you're might talk or something, they just kill They do a fucking cleanse. Yeah.
When he went and talked to Robert De Niro, and he didn't want anything to do with him either. He was going to kill him because he was like, "Remember, I've got a job for you in Florida.
Yeah.
I need you to do a job for me in Florida." He goes, "I wasn't coming back from Florida."
Yeah.
And the first thing that came into my mind is, no, you're not, because your body's going to end up in a swamp digested by alligators.
Yeah. No, if anyone ever invites you down to Florida, the Everglades, there's one thing that happens in the Everglades, and that's murder.
And that's it.
Yeah. And it's always murder. And that is where they always fucking drop bodies too.
Yes.
Yeah. I just can't imagine how many bodies that haven't been found are just.
Oh, there's got to be a ton of them.
Yeah, for sure.
They're just completely digested by animals.
I mean, yeah, it's like a 5 or 6 hour drive, I think, from New Jersey to Florida or something. So it's not. I mean, you throw a body in, get down there.
It'll just be cold by the time you get there. Yeah.
It's perfect.
Perfect time to toss it in the old river.
Yeah.
Or the old swamp. I love how we talk so casually about this, as if we do this every weekend.
Yeah.
But
we only do it
every other
weekend. Yeah, every other weekend.
Well, I've watched enough gangster films to know how you properly dispose of a body. And I know what gets you fucking pinched. Right. And that's squealers. That's rats.
It's squealers, and it's not enough bleach.
Yeah.
That's what it is. You gotta use bleach.
Back then, I mean, this is obviously set in the 90s, but they didn't wipe.
They didn't wipe
Prince.
shit down.
No. I know, like, when Joe Pesci went and killed Stax, Samuel Jackson's character, like, he didn't even pick up the bullet casings or anything.
No.
The guy at the coffee, he was about to take the coffee. He's like, what? That was a fucking joke. Put the coffee down. Yeah. I love that montage of them just totally brutal, but when it's going that montage of everyone that they're killing, because they're just, cleaning up the one guy in the Cadillac. Yeah. He's still in the Cadillac. Yes. He never brought it back. But, and then when they
killed them all.
The scene where they had to kill Maury, which thank God, because great job that guy did playing Maury, the fucking wig guy. But how annoying was he?
Yeah, no kidding.
By the end, I'm like, oh, thank God they're going to kill him.
I'm glad you brought up that scene, though, because Ray's character, which obviously was Henry Hill, but with Robert De Niro, he tells him that he wants to kill him, and then when they're joking around having a good time, he tells Ray, he goes, that plan that we had last night, forget about it.
Yeah.
And then you think, oh, okay, well, now he's going to save his life. Everything's cool. Everything's peachy. No, that was not the fucking case. They took him out. Would they strangle him and then stick a knife in the back of his neck something? Yeah, an ice pick. Yeah. I wonder if that would kill someone as fast as it does in the movies, though. An ice pick to the back of the skull? You think that'd kill you pretty fast?
Yeah, I can imagine. That's probably the best thing to stab someone's head with.
Yeah, that's
an
right.
Ice pick, yeah.
You could imagine, or do you have...
I mean, I can imagine.
Okay. Well, be careful. We're on video now.
This is live.
You can't do quotations.
I can imagine, but I have. Yeah. But if you need someone ice picked,
I may know.
Talk to me. Yeah, I mean, I can imagine that. I can imagine that. I just trust in Scorsese that if that's the way it happened, I figured that's probably the way it happened in real life. Yeah,
that's very true.
Because a lot of these kills were just so brutal.
Were a lot of these kills the same way that they were actually killed? Do we know that? Because I actually didn't look that up. I should have, but I didn't.
I don't know that, but I'm sure we could have found that out if any of us read the book that it was based on.
I know that ice pick to the back of the head, Pesci did that. At that point, Pesci's character in real life was already dead, so he did not kill that guy. That's the only one.
Although we do know that Pesci's character was killed, yeah.
Yeah. He was already dead before.
So he was killed a lot earlier than what the movie portrays. Something fascinating.
He was killed in the way, like we were talking, like, it's kind of a long time when he was killed in the movie. It was a lot shorter than when he was killed in the.
So that turnaround was pretty quick in real life.
Somewhat,
they figured it out.
still not super, but
Right.
because a lot of the stuff he did do in between, he did do.
Yeah.
And like they did pull off the biggest heist at that time.
Yeah, and it never got solved until 2014.
No, is that crazy? Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
That heist?
Yep.
That's incredible.
Even though this movie came out. and they still like didn't, because everyone pulling the strings behind it. Because there's obviously was a lot more going on than probably what we saw with. Because Paulie was in on everything. Because nothing they did besides the drugs.
Right.
Which and eventually they got caught doing that. But yeah, I think there's probably some kind of hierarchy where you gotta let the top guy know something's going down.
Yeah.
I mean, $6 million gets stolen. I'm sure probably there's a top guy asking questions who stole his money or whatever. But yeah, and I can't imagine because they killed probably 90% of the people that were involved in the heist. They killed them in this movie. So I can imagine that it doesn't get solved for a while. I don't really tap dancing up there.
Something else, Henry stated in the movie to Jimmy that they could never be made in the Italian family.
Yeah. You can't
Because
if you're not full Sicilian.
Because you have to be full Sicilian. I kind of like that in this movie because it made sense as to why all three of them were they were all working for the same cause. And it actually told that in the movie when Joe was part of the family, was quote unquote going and being made in the family. They were like, hey, we all made it, because Joe made it. We all made it because they couldn't ever be in the family. And then they find out at the phone booth that executed.
And those three were best friends.
Exactly.
They grew up.
They grew up together.
We kind of don't see that because it's kind of confusing because, like we were saying, Ray Liotta looks like 30 the whole time.
Yeah.
So, but I think he did this on purpose where he has that dialogue, Ray Liotta, where he's like, "We were just 20-something-year-old kids," and then he says it again when they're older too. So I think he did that to remind you that this is not 30-year-old Ray Liotta; it's 21-year-old Ray Liotta, or whatever. But I think that's kind of misconception. You kind of forget, I think, that this Ray Liotta is only supposed to be 21, so you forget how far they went back. But they went back, to the very start when they were smashing windows, and when he first got arrested.
Yeah.
I love that scene where he gets arrested and Joe Pesci's character, when his kid just takes off. Yeah. And they're all congratulating him after he doesn't rat or anything.
Yeah, after this first time out, yeah.
And that first line, ever since I was a kid, I want to be a gangster. What a great line.
Yeah, that was voted 20th on the top 100 memorable movie quotes.
It is such a good line.
Oh, yeah.
It's such it's
such a famous line now, too.
Right, and a little bit of us all kind of thinks that. Like, how fucking cool would that be?
Well, just look at the life. Although they live a short life.
But they live a fucking
But they do,
life.
yeah. They burn hot. And but they burn out, too.
Right.
Exactly, it would be.
It would be a hell of a life.
And some people
while
do
you
live
have
it too somewhat longer. And they do. It does for the top guys at least.
Yeah.
If you're on the bottom rung of the ladder, you're most
Your
likely
chances
getting
are-
killed.
yeah.
Yeah.
Something
Quite
you're going to prison
pretty
15,
easy. Look
20
what
years.
happened to Spider. He got
Right.
killed he was right at the start. But
He couldn't win. He was in a lose-lose situation there, so.
But I can't remember what we were talking about before that.
That's okay.
Yeah.
Sometimes you know what? Sometimes it
I
happens.
really-
we just kind
I
of got to
really
roll
can't.
with the punches. But
Oh, we're talking about the line.
about the line, about the
yeah.
gangsters. But it is so true because even like me as a kid watching gangster movies, obviously not ones as brutal as this, but
Yeah.
a little part of you always kind of is fascinated by that lifestyle. Like you walk around knowing that you're the shit.
Yeah. Oh,
knowing
yeah.
that no one's
and knowing
going
that
to
no one
fuck
can
with you
Yeah.
ever at any point. There's nothing better than that. That's amazing.
Oh yeah, and it always gives a feeling that it's just a super tight knit family. Everyone's got your back. Everyone would do anything for everyone.
It's like a brotherhood. It's like the military too.
Yeah.
I mean, you look at like going to the Army or the Marines, you get that camaraderie, that brotherhood. Football, you're part of a football team. You get that camaraderie, brotherhood. It's the same thing. I mean, we're all we all want to get in our little subcultures and in our little groups and be tight, so it all makes sense. But
oh yeah. But let's talk about one of my favorite scenes that we haven't talked about is the prison scene when they're cooking the dinner and everything. I
Yeah.
love that scene, even though that scene's not super violent. I just love how that scene's
Yeah.
shot and everything.
Yeah.
With the detail of like how what's his name? How Paulie makes the sauce or whatever. How he's like cutting it with the razor blade and how fucking great
the
their
little-
life
yeah.
was. And even then we say, oh, we all want to be a gangster. Yeah, why would even when you go to jail, you're
it's nice, yeah.
so no matter what, you pretty much can't be touched. And when you get out of prison, you go right back into
You go right
making
back
a
into
shit
that
ton of
life.
money. Yeah.
Yep.
But yeah, and that scene with Karen where she brings in, she's like bringing in vegetables and like drugs and
Yeah.
stuff. Also, yeah, that's a really
And she pulls it out in the middle when she's
Yeah.
arguing with Ray. She literally just pulls out the drugs and was like, I'm done doing this.
Yeah,
for
and
you.
that's a
Like,
great
Jesus
scene, yeah.
Christ.
And even though, yeah,
Escalated.
if that happened to anyone else,
Anyone else,
so it's
you're
probably- yeah.
arrested. You're
and
fucked.
you even see the security guards are like trying to look
yeah,
away.
they're like,
Yeah,
blind
yeah.
eye. They're like purposely turning their backs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, I've always loved that prison scene, and how even though they're still in prison, he talks about like no matter what, dinner was always still a big deal.
Yeah.
Everyone had to be there.
Yep.
They couldn't eat till they had the wine or whatever. That's the fucking life.
It is.
Prison is so great.
I've heard prison is pretty good when you're a
If
gangster.
you're in the mob or
Yep.
Escobar and build your own prison.
Yeah. Yeah, fucking narcos.
Or Lil
shit was
Wayne, I
crazy.
think he had a pretty good prison stay.
Oh, he probably would have.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
could imagine. Meek Mill, currently serving,
If you will.
if you will. Probation violation.
I don't know why you know so much Meek Mill information.
It's just in the news,
concerning.
I suppose.
Welp. What other scenes?
Here's a random tidbit of information. Robert De Niro wanted to use real cash instead
Yeah, I
of
saw
fake
that.
cash. But what was crazy is they used $5,000 real cash back in 1990 before they left the set.
That's like $5 billion
Yeah.
today's
Oh,
money.
heck yeah. Before they left, I guess some production guy went and got the money, but before
Yeah, the
everyone
prop
could
master.
leave.
Yeah, the prop master, yeah.
yeah.
Which, I mean, the prop master. He's probably not the richest guy on
Master
set.
of props.
He is the master of
He is
props.
the mobster of, yeah. The mobster of props?
But, yeah. But, yeah, that's, I guess it does throw, I mean, especially Robert De Niro where he was getting every detail down. Because
Yeah.
it's important about every
He's
single
psychotic
detail.
about it,
Yeah.
yeah.
He didn't like the way that the fake stuff felt in his hand. So he
'Cause
wanted
it's
the
just-
so he wanted the real
stuff.
It's just
money, yeah.
paper, you know? It's
Yeah.
like shitty light paper.
And I like movies that use, like, I hate the movies where you can tell it's fake money.
Yeah, me
I
too.
hate that shit.
It
It takes it
bothers
out.
me.
It totally takes me out of the movie when I see fake money.
Yeah.
But if I see real money close-ups, go ahead and have the wide shots, where we're not seeing the details. Yeah, we don't need to see real money. But when you're passing out money and you see the paper fold, so I'm
Yeah, and it's
thank
crinkled,
you,
and it's-
Robert De Niro, for doing
And
this.
it's crinkled and stuff. They're not
Yeah,
perfect
it's not-
bricks
right.
of $100
I hate that
stacks
shit
or
when
whatever.
it's
Yeah.
fake. Yeah. It's like if it's a movie and your budget's $10 million, go pull out $5K or whatever like they did and use the real deal.
Yeah, I mean, you could
Everybody bring $5.
you could get
Everyone bring
you could get $5,000 in ones and then put $100 bill
Exactly.
on top of the
Yeah,
stack. And
exactly.
Then it's real money. Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
But yeah, that's I don't know. That is a small tidbit. But Robert De Niro, I don't think he still has that same.
Tenacity.
I don't know what you want to say. Fire. I don't know what you want to call it in his movie. He was definitely different. He was just so good back then.
Yeah, he
was
was.
untouchable.
Yeah.
Yeah, now he's like only in comedies, which is weird.
Yeah, like Bad Grandpa or,
Bad
or not
Grandpa
bad,
or-
yeah.
Yeah.
It was the
I
same
remember
thing
that.
with him where he didn't want to be typecast anymore, so he wanted to do because
do
everyone,
crazy
because
things.
people are so stupid, they see these people and they actually hate them or whatever. Like Joffrey from Game of Thrones. Like he quit acting, he
Yeah.
retired.
He did?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, he did right after, or he did he said I think during when the season was on, that he wasn't going to do it.
Probably because everyone hated him.
People did, yeah. People
He's just an actor.
I know.
Oh my god.
A
Everyone's
great
like,
actor. If a great actor can make you
actor,
hate
yeah.
them that much, like Joe Pesci makes you hate him in
Exactly.
this, then they're doing a great job. But people are just dumb.
Yeah, see that's unfortunate because I fucking hated Joffrey so much in Game of Thrones that I looked up the actor and was like, this kid's really good.
Yeah.
So that's sad that he quit acting because so many people gave him
But you
shit.
did send him a death threat also.
I did. I sent him 11 to be exact.
11 death threats.
11
You
death
are on the FBI watch
I
list
am
now.
currently, yes, because of such actions.
He has a restraining order against
I
him.
do.
Technically, you can't
I
be
take my
within
Game of
1,000.
Thrones shit very seriously, okay?
Yeah, but stupid shit like that.
Yeah,
and now,
it's
and
unfortunate.
because of it, now we don't get a million Robert De Niro monster movies. We have a lot of them.
We do.
But we
have
could
more.
always have more.
We could always have more. No,
Yeah.
I'm always. We can never have enough gangster movies.
But what's been always talked about is that Scorsese apparently is getting the gang back together. Pesci, Robert De Niro. I think
Don't do this to
Jack
me.
Nicholson too for a monster for the Irishman that he's been writing. Or
Jack
he's,
Nicholson's coming out of fucking retirement.
yeah, and apparently Netflix is supposed to be buying the rights for it. and
What?
producing it, yeah. Martin's
gonna do a movie with Netflix.
If you don't know Martin Scorsese, he always has trouble getting financing for his movies because they're long.
Right.
And I think we talked about this before, but theaters don't like playing a 3-hour long movie because you
Exactly,
can only
'cause
play it 4 times rather than 6 times a day.
Yeah.
So he always has trouble financing his movies, even though they're all
Amazing.
Amazing, yeah.
That's so sad. That's so unfortunate. But
Yeah,
it makes sense.
But I mean, Netflix, if they got the cash, throw it at them. And you got to think these movies are very well detailed. But I don't know the budget for this, but I would guess it's.
It was 25.
I would have guessed 20 million.
yeah.
So that's
In
not
1990, that's probably 40 million now.
yeah, which is still not
nothing.
a lot of
No.
money. No, for a movie that's this good. But yeah, that's what I heard. I haven't heard anything
And this
recently.
long too. I mean,
Yeah.
because you got to think about on production.
It's damn near yeah.
They're
It's,
probably shooting 6 to 8 weeks. My guess. Could be wrong, but if you're shooting a movie that's almost 3 hours, that's a lot of fucking shit.
yeah, and that's a lot of footage that they had to cut out too. But apparently, it got the worst test scores.
Yeah, it did. Yeah, I saw that.
And it was
too.
so yeah, and I saw that Martin Scorsese. It was so bad that it was funny, and they didn't edit anything.
No.
Which is insane for a studio to give that. I mean,
But not only that, but you got to look at the level of confidence
yeah,
from Martin to be able to just be like, no.
don't change
We're not
anything.
changing
But
it.
you gotta.
I'm laughing this
yeah,
off.
and you gotta think
crazy.
the balls for him to tell a head of a studio that says this is the worst.
Oh, yeah.
Usually when if test scores are bad, at least now, which is now it's even worse. It's
Right.
horrible because studios get their little grubby fingers in everything and ruin everything.
Can ruin everything.
But if test scores were like got bad and negative, they'd freaking recut the entire
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah,
movie.
they would have. They would have for
yeah,
sure.
yeah. Which thank God. Thank God they didn't. I want to know the people that gave this movie a bad fucking test score. I want to find them. I want to beat them.
To a pulp.
Yeah. I want to ice pick
And then
them.
you want to take them down to Florida and show them
Who'd they
the
get like?
gator
Did
exhibit.
they get like 90-year-old people to watch this movie or something? Who did not enjoy this movie for seeing it?
An asshole. That's all I got for you. That's
It is very violent, though.
Yeah.
I mean, even though now that we're kind of dull to the violence because we do have hyper violent movies,
Yes.
but
Oh, yeah.
this movie showed gangsters in a very, very real light
Light,
that I
for
don't
sure.
think a lot of people knew
Were
or
ready
saw.
for.
Yeah, especially at a time in the '90s where a lot of people think it's
That's
the
the
'90s.
thing,
This is
though.
a '30s. Even the mafia's still going today.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the 5 families in New York and everything are still going, but people forget that.
Yeah.
They're obviously not as powerful as
I
they
have
once
a
were.
book. I have a book that's this big on the 5 families.
Yeah.
It's huge.
Oh, they're still. I just
Still
yeah.
haven't read through the whole thing. Like it's bigger than the Bible. You think I'm
Well,
kidding?
they're still ahead of the family running the. I can't remember the main family is super famous. I keep wanting to say Corleone. That's from
That's
God.
the Godfather, yeah. Which was funny
it's-
because I
it's
was just
something
about to
like
bring up
that.
The Godfather.
Yeah.
You talk about violence. You got to admit, for The Godfather, back when that was made, that was a pretty violent film as well.
Yeah. Oh yeah. for
So
sure.
it's very odd for me that people would accept The Godfather more than they would Goodfellas. Even though Goodfellas is extremely graphic or whatever, violent, but
I do,
I
but
thought
I
The
also think that
Godfather
they're
was, too.
two kind of different gangster
They are
films for
definitely
sure.
styles,
Where
yeah.
you're seeing the head of the like gangster film, which is a little more
Right.
proper and stuff. But and then you're seeing in Goodfellas where it's kind of the lower level where everything is a lot more violent, and
Right.
these are the guys carrying out the hits and everything. Like in The Godfather, you never see Pacino unless it's a flashback. You
Right.
never see him killing anyone.
yeah, exactly.
But
That's true.
yeah, and still, The Godfather is very, very violent.
Yeah.
But even this, compared to this movie's crazy.
Yeah,
even watching it
apples and
today,
oranges,
and it's
yeah.
from the night. Even watching it today, it's like, and it doesn't look fake or.
No,
It doesn't look fake at all.
You
They did a
can't
good
go
job.
wrong with real blood.
No.
I'm telling because there's a lot of movies that use CGI blood now. 'Cause
Yeah.
it's cheaper, but real blood, real squibs, people getting shot. That's the way to do it.
It is.
Tarantino style.
Squibs are awesome.
I'd love to get squibbed someday. I would love for it.
Yeah.
Yeah, just just get the shit shot out of me.
Well, hey, maybe,
Riddled with bullets. Yeah.
maybe we'll write a comedy thing where we
Where I get murdered.
where you get murdered, and
Terribly.
we'll order
Yeah.
a squib. They're only a couple $100 to order.
The whole
for, like-
rigging system has to be somewhat complicated though, because it's
Oh, well,
run on a remote and everything.
Right. I don't know how to operate one.
Yeah,
I'm not saying, I'm
yeah.
not saying I know how to
I think-
operate
'cause
one.
I think it's
I'm just
somewhat,
saying
yeah.
you can realistically rent those. You'd probably have to hire someone to do it.
Yeah,
but
that's probably.
it's not out of like proportion. You'd be shocked. You could
Yeah.
actually get it here.
It'd be weird for me to just do it, just to do it.
Just
though,
do
like,
it. Just
No
one
record.
take
All right.
on an iPhone.
Thanks for that. Yeah.
Fuck yeah. Guys, like I'm really confused, but hey,
Yeah, I get paid by big companies. I don't know why I'm out here with some random guy in a field.
he just really wanted to get squibbed. I guess.
I do though. I really,
Yeah.
really do.
I know.
I would love to be in a movie where I get like brutally murdered.
Yeah.
I would be in one of these where like, I love the scene in Goodfellas where they find the guy in the meat locker, the frozen
Yeah,
guy,
yeah, yeah.
who's like, and the guy who's playing that guy is like the most stereotypical gangster guy in the world. Like they could not have picked a better guy for that guy. Half the time he's speaking like Italian or Sicilian or something like that. But yeah, I love that scene. That's a scene where they're murdering everyone too. Which is,
Yeah.
the more violence. I mean, it's hard to make a good gangster film without showing how violent and gritty it is because
Yeah.
I mean, it's a very violent, gritty world. Anything else?
Oh, I thought I had something, but I forgot what it was.
Any other scenes that stood out to you?
Off the top of my head, I cannot.
One
Yeah.
scene that I liked a lot that we didn't talk about was a scene
There's
where
so much to this movie, though. I feel like the two movies that we reviewed this week, 2.5 hours long, both of them.
Yeah.
So it's just a lot of information to try to remember, you know.
a scene I like is the scene where Ray Liotta wakes up and Karen has a gun in his.
Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah, that
yeah,
was a really
that
good
scene
scene.
is
Yeah.
super good. And it's super real,
Real.
especially when he gets the gun from her and he's guts her and he's, oh, you want me to fucking kill you, Karen? That's what you want? Yeah.
Yeah.
It's crazy, yeah. And you think, yeah, I don't know.
Well, that's the same thing, too. Watching that scene, definitely one of the most real scenes to me because you could see the terrified look on his face, but at the same time, he's a fucking gangster.
Yeah.
And then he was like, you put that gun in my face, you understand what I can fucking do to you? You know?
Yeah.
It was real. I really did enjoy that.
And we didn't talk a lot about the Karen and Karen. That character is crazy. She could just drug around or whatever. But that scene when they're like first dating or whatever, and she calls Ray and tells him that her neighbor touched her or whatever.
Yeah.
That scene is so good. That's another scene that looks so weird where he's like hitting him repeatedly with and
Yeah.
the gun eventually breaks.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's hitting him so. Oh no, that's not the scene where it breaks. Where it breaks is when Pesci is hitting the maid guy.
Bats.
Yeah,
Bats.
Yeah, that's when the rubber. But that scene where he is beating the shit out of that guy,
Mm-hmm.
and like his two buddies are standing behind him, and they're like,
Yeah.
that scene is so good. And then that kind of like just showed you their kind of crazy relationship,
Yeah.
where she kind of pretended that he wasn't, but then she obviously knew
She knew.
everything. And
Oh,
by
yeah,
the
she
end,
knew.
and by the end, she's like fully into it.
Right, and that was a big pivotal moment in that movie too for her character development. When the first time when he does hand her the gun and says
Yeah.
hide it, and she's like, "I should have been terrified," but she said it kind of turned me on, and
Yeah.
I was like, "Okay, well, this is a perfect relationship then.
'Cause
Have fun, enjoy, because
Yeah.
shit's about to hit the fan."
Well, and she had to have known what kind of person he was getting into it with.
Of course.
With them like going to the restaurant and getting like a table like made for
Front
them.
row,
Like,
yeah.
a table that didn't exist. Like you're
Who
only
does
a
that?
mobster. Yeah. But yeah, and stuff like, and that, like you said, that turning point is where at some point Ray Liotta's character, he's just like, I mean, it's obviously she knows. You can't hide it from her anymore.
Right.
I mean, she would have to be dumb to not realize at this point what's going on and everything. But yeah, I love it. And I love that scene where, like I said, how it just falls apart at the end where they're all just strung out. Ray Liotta, he's got like 5 girlfriends. He's trying to shuffle and stuff. The babysitter and he says at the end, like at the end, we had everyone working for me.
Yeah.
That's just so crazy how much money they had coming in.
Oh, I know. Shit just got out of control, though, fast.
Yeah.
And it does. When they start using drugs, it gets out of control. Look at Conor McGregor.
Yeah. Don't get
We
high
don't
on your
know.
own
We
supply.
don't know.
We don't know that.
Allegedly.
Yeah.
I'm just kidding. I got to be careful.
Yeah,
he's
come
gonna
after
come
you.
Come after me. Yeah. The IRA shit. We're
Gonna
talking about mafia
Beat up
shit.
your Prius.
Yeah.
I'm in trouble.
You don't have any trash
He's
cans
going to
around
punch
here.
me in my Prius. Yeah. Damn it.
Oh, well, we got to bring up that they actually used actual mobsters and as extras in this movie.
Yeah.
Because we didn't talk about that.
No shit. I didn't know that.
Yeah. And they got hired with...
I think in all of Scorsese's films, to get it as real as possible, yeah. Because you're not going to Scorsese. He's from Brooklyn, from the 50s or whatever. Yeah, I mean,
That's
he grew up
hardcore.
all around that kind of
Yeah.
stuff, yeah.
Damn.
I got hired on with fake security or social security numbers, and nobody knows how they got paid.
You're kidding me. He gave him fake social security numbers?
One of the guys...
Core man, he
yeah.
ain't fucking around.
Another good scene that we didn't talk about was when he's going and he's introducing all the ones, all
Yeah.
the names, and they all have like the most Italian name, like
Yeah.
two-time Tony said
Yeah,
everything
two-time
twice.
Tony,
It's
yeah.
so funny. He's like, I'm gonna go check the numbers. Gonna go check the numbers. He says everything.
He doesn't think twice.
Yeah, he says everything twice, like Johnny roast beef and Fat Tony.
Yeah,
and
Fat
stuff.
Tony. Yeah.
That Fat Tony guy was an NYPD detective.
Yeah.
And his brother, his dad were all in the mob. In 2014, that guy got caught for racketeering.
Yeah, he got busted.
He was a cop. No. Yeah, so he's a dirty cop. For the mob is
Oh,
For the mob, it's like the
gosh.
craziest story ever. Yeah.
Wow.
So he was probably So it's like I had to look it up. I'm like, is this what Departed was? Like, was he dirty for like 40 years in the NYPD?
That's insane.
Because his family, like everyone but him, was in the mob. He was a cop. Yeah.
You know, wouldn't that be a red flag somewhere? Like,
Well, that's what it is. In
100%.
Departed, he couldn't become a cop.
Right.
So because who his dad was and everyone, yeah.
Huh.
Who knows? Except he probably was a cop. He probably got hired on maybe in like the 60s or the 80s or something when he was pretty freaking free and wild back then.
That's nuts, dude. That's
Yeah.
insane.
Yeah, and now I think he's doing life in prison. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
For racketeering?
It was It was murder also.
Oh,
it was
okay. I
It was
thought you meant
racketeering.
just
It was a
racketeering.
list of
What?
things. Yeah.
Yikes,
Yeah.
dude. That's brutal. But he enjoyed his life for the most part. You got to look at that, you know.
And he was in a movie.
Yeah, he's in a movie.
He was fooling everyone. He was
Making
a cop.
money.
He was a gang.
Yeah.
He's probably rich as fuck.
Oh, yeah. Would you guys do that? I'm poll of the day.
Would I
on the
become a dirty
podcast.
cop for the mob?
Dirty.
No. Let's say this. You got to live life fat and amazing and awesome until you're 55. And then
Yes.
you go to prison for life. Would you do it?
Oh, prison for life?
Prison
Can
for
I
life.
just die?
Nope.
This is
Not
real
allowed to
prison
die.
or mob prison?
This is mob
How good is
prison.
the life you're talking
Mob
about?
prison?
It's mob prison, so I mean, you
Pretty
get
cushy.
a amenity, you get TV, you get a board game.
Conjugal visits?
Yeah, sure. You get a blowjob once a month from
Okay.
some random woman. They let her come
Some
in.
random dude?
Nah.
Some random prison.
I'll pass on that one.
Yeah.
How good are we talking? We're talking mob good or like
I'm talking
billionaire good?
I'm talking mob good. I ain't talking millionaire good. I'm
Oh.
not talking like Lil Wayne getting locked up and getting whatever. But
I
I'm
would do
talking
it, but
mob.
if you said I could go back when I was like 10 and start then,
Yeah.
Okay.
and I start running, I would do it.
So like
That's-
start back to where like
Yeah,
I knew
'cause
my
that-
whole life I wanted to be a gangster kind of shit.
Because it looked how much fun that he was having as a kid.
I
he
know.
wasn't going to school.
Nope.
They
He was
fucking
driving
beat the
around
shit out of the
cars,
mailman.
farming.
Yeah, so they
Yeah.
wouldn't send in report cards
Yeah,
anymore.
they roughed him up real good.
Yeah.
And actually, as
Let
a
me
matter
tell
of
you, when
fact,
I was a
no
kid-
mail came to that house anymore.
They never questioned
They
that.
never.
Yeah.
Nope.
But yeah, oh man, in a heartbeat I would.
Oh yeah. You think about all that money and time, and not only that, you think about this. Each one of us has got 30 years left.
Yeah.
Let's do it. You guys down?
Let's
Wait, we
do
got
it.
3 guys. Let's start. I don't
Sucks
know what
we're
we're
in the
gonna
wrong
do.
Starting a
time. It'd be
family.
too hard these days.
Yeah.
Back
Too
then,
many cameras.
I know. Yeah. It's so hard to do anything to run.
Well, we have a second.
Just to start a business, you got to go through so
Right.
much red
Oh,
tape.
it's
Back
crazy.
then, you just bought a store.
Well, there's always option
start.
2. Create a DeLorean and go back in time.
Bam.
Boom.
I have the blueprint.
It's more than
Look at all this
creating.
fucking movie segue we're doing as having conversation. We're
You
incredible.
do know that's not just DeLoreans that go back in time. That was a special DeLorean.
You're right. That is
So
true.
it's not all. So it's not all. We can't just
I
buy
thought
some
it was
shitty
all of it.
DeLorean.
That's why they had to stop making them, because everybody was
Because
figuring it
everyone
out.
was just going back in time and in time into the future. Changed too many things about 2015. That's why we don't have flying cars. Too many fucking people went back in a DeLorean.
When are we gonna get flying cars, man? I was promised that a long time ago.
I'm a little upset. Yeah.
You tell me they can put a man on the moon and I can't fly a car?
It's horseshit.
It's government bullshit.
As
soon as
They're
they
keeping it
learn-
a secret from us.
Oh, they are.
As soon as they learn how to make as much or more money on flying cars as they do regular cars.
The only
then
issue
they'll
with
do
flying
it.
cars is I don't know how you'd be able to regulate that, like the airways. Like, how would you be able to
Oh,
have
I've
roads
thought all
and stuff
about
like
it.
that? Like, it'd be too much. There'd be too many crashes, and then when there's crashes up in the air, that's shrapnel coming down, hitting people in the head. That's not good.
You would
Especially
have
in a
to
big
have
city like New York or
some
something.
kind
like that.
of net
A
system,
giant net
a
system
force
over
field.
like New York.
Yeah.
A force field. I like that idea. Okay. Getting into the Star Wars realm a little bit.
Or make it impossible for the cars to crash into each other.
Yeah.
How could you do that?
You make them all computerized. Make them perfect.
Huh.
Yeah.
Okay,
Take
Elon.
the human element out of
Yeah.
it.
You don't actually control the car.
And while we're at
At
it,
all.
kill all humans.
I like that idea better.
Let the robot cars take over. That's what I say.
Well, we're about 15, 20 years away from them completely taking
100%.
over. Completely taking over.
When
you have
for
brilliant
one,
minds like like Hawking, well, she just passed away, rest in peace. And all these brilliant scientists and stuff saying that they don't like artificial intelligence, that should be a red flag right there. Okay, I'm telling you.
did you guys hear about
Not good.
the Chinese AI robot they invented? They invented an AI robot, or two of them, to start talking to each other.
And it started coming up with
Yeah.
random. It was communicating with.
Language that we couldn't understand.
Yeah.
That's not the one. No, these
Oh.
two, they started bad mouthing communism. Yeah, and they started praising America, so they had to shut down the whole thing. Yeah,
Are you serious?
Yeah,
That's hilarious.
they both kill both the robots. I don't know how they
That's
do
so
it. They unplug something, but yeah, as soon as it happened,
That's
they're like,
funny.
"Oh fuck yeah, shut it off."
Get these capitalistic fucking robots out of here. We got a communist robot.
Yeah.
Build one now.
But that's what every fucking time they turn on an AI, some creepy shit like that starts happening.
I know. Well, yeah, the one me and Michael were talking about. They turn on these two robots, like super smart robots. They started communicating in a language that no one understood, but communicating back and forth. And they're like, "Nope, off switch. No one turn that fucking robot back on, please." It's a terrible idea. They're communicating in ways we don't understand. That is the biggest red flag of that all.
Let them. It's the next step of evolution.
It is, honestly. Like technology is a superior race. We are creating our own destruction.
The only
That's
people
what we're
holding us back are us. So which just got into a very different podcast.
But yeah, it is.
Yeah.
It got weird real fast.
Yeah, it did.
Who knows? But that's what makes it fun.
Yeah.
Anything else on Goodfellas, guys? we went off the fucking
Yeah, we went off the
It's kinda
rail
fun,
big time.
though. Yeah, somebody just follow along conversations. We don't always have to be on our keynotes. We can go off the.
I mean,
off
we
the
were
rails a
talking
little
about
bit.
the plot of Terminator.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
Still a
Essentially.
movie.
Yeah. I know it makes me so mad because I think I'm super.
Is it a
smart,
movie or
'cause
a
I start-
warning, Michael?
Yeah, no
Ooh.
shit. Right.
Looking at you, people.
Point right at it. Yeah. But I know I always think I'm so smart when I think about that.
It's not.
be
We're
like-
literally all of our information is based off of television and
Yeah.
film, so
and it's
we
literally
know.
just based off that movie, right?
Yeah, I
there.
know. I mean, the AI could be a
Frustrating.
wonderful, wonderful thing, but I'm fighting it because Arnold Schwarzenegger could come back in time and kill me.
Thanks a lot.
Yeah, Arnie ruined AI for everyone.
He did.
Just like Jaws ruined water for everyone.
Yep.
Fucking movies.
Dicks.
Movies.
Just like Back to the Future ruined DeLoreans for everyone.
For you.
For me and
For
everyone.
you. They didn't for me. I'd love to own one. Just like Star Wars ruined.
Death Stars?
Space travel?
Sure. Something?
Nothing. They didn't ruin
Nothing.
anything.
Yeah, it didn't ruin anything.
It's a great movie.
You're right.
It's
Thank
only
you.
given us.
I just wanted to be fair because that was the only poster we didn't talk about up there. I don't want to give it away. But there's nothing wrong with Star Wars. So.
No.
Well, anything else on Goodfellas?
I mean, I'm sure there's not really a lot you can say about this movie that hasn't been said already.
I know.
Yeah.
I mean, it's hard to take on a movie this good and say anything new, but it is three random ass guys in a basement's take on a really good movie.
really good movie. Yeah, exactly. Alrighty.
Do we need to rate it? Should we? I just say, I mean, if you haven't seen Goodfellas by now, just watch it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, there's not really anything you can ruin spoiler-wise. I mean, there's no...
And
you almost know what's going to happen in every gangster film.
Yeah. And for whatever reason, I kind of like, for me, when I do my picks, I kind of sometimes like to just pick these older movies because we don't have to review them.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I would just rather just
like,
talk
we
about
just
them.
kind of like to talk about them, hang out. And if we go out on a crazy tangent like artificial intelligence, and we can, it's fun.
Yeah.
But I had a good time with this one.
Yeah.
So.
We recommend it.
Oh, for sure. Highly recommend this. Incredible movie.
There's a few gangster films that you just have to watch to really to give you the bare bones of the gangster life.
And if you like the F word, so this is a movie for you.
Which
Oh, yeah.
you should, because in the real world, people say the F word.
They do quite a bit.
Every movie. You got to fear. Any movie that has kids in it, I mean... I said the F word so much in third grade. I mean,
All the time.
In every sentence for no reason, just because I could.
You think I'm bad now?
Yeah,
Should've
yeah.
heard
You
me
got.
when I was a child.
Oh yeah, when I first knew I could without other people knowing, said it for everything.
Yep.
But this movie does say the F word a lot, 300 sometimes, and I think it had the record for
a while.
Yeah, before
Yeah, it
any Tarantino movie probably came out. Right.
Or like a movie like Jarhead. Jarhead said it all the time.
Yeah.
Alrighty. Well, if that is it, follow us on Twitter, Seen It Podcast. Michael's on Twitter, WhatTheFalk63. Cash is on Twitter. That's Just Cash. Our Instagram page, simply look us up, Have You Seen It? And we do have a sister Instagram page too, which is Have You Seen It News, where we'll be posting news. And the other Instagram accounts just for episodes and polls and stuff like that. So, been a lot more active on our social medias lately. So give us a follow.
a review
for
also.
sure. Yeah, give us a review on iTunes. We're also on SoundCloud and Google Play too, and that's something that we don't bring up a lot on this podcast. We probably should, but if you're listening, then you're listening on one of those three anyway. So, so that's good news. But yeah, guys, you can find us on iTunes, SoundCloud, and Google Play, and our Twitter account actually plays you can play it straight from Twitter via SoundCloud. So if you don't have iTunes, that's a really good option to have. If you have an Android, you can use Google Play. So with that said, until next time.
Yeah. Get the fuck out of here.